Hello, class. Segon. I hope you are doing well. I hope you are staying healthy, and I hope you are enjoying your time at home. And I hope you are ready for our lesson on hip hop. It is not exactly how I was planning on teaching it, but we are going to make it work. That is a phrase in America. They say, we'll make it work. And so, using my phone and using my laptop, we will make it work. So, let's start talking about hip hop. Hip hop is a very popular, a very well known, a very liked music genre in America. As you know, popular means well known, popular means liked, right? So, hip hop is a very popular music genre, not only in America, but all over the world, right? All over the world. Um, and yeah, it's important that we know that hip hop is not just music, but is in fact a very important mode of self expression for African Americans. What do I mean by that? It is a very important mode of self expression for African Americans. Well, African Americans, or Black American blacks, you could call them, are people, are black people, are African Americans. They live in America, and they are descendant, they come from the slaves that war brought over to America hundreds of years ago. And they use hip hop, and as we will see, they use other music to express themselves. Hip hop is music of self expression, right? Self expression. That means showing your emotions. That means showing your hopes and your fears through music. Hip hop was not the first kind of music used by African Americans. There is a long history of African American self expression through music. And that is what we're going to learn about first, the history of African American self expression through music. African Americans showing or singing their hopes and their fears with different kinds of music. After that, we are going to get into some of the slang of hip hop. As you know, hip hop uses a lot of different slang, which you may not know the meaning of. So, I'm going to go through just a little bit of the slang I hear most often in hip hop music and explain some of it to you guys. I think that'll be fun, and hopefully it will make listening to hip hop a little easier for you because you will know what some of the slang means. After that, I was going to show you This Is America by Childish Gambino. YouTube will not let me. However, I feel as if many of you have already seen the music video or already listened to the song. If you have not, I suggest you go watch the music video. Again, the song is This Is America by Childish Gambino. That's Gambino. And so we are going to look at This Is America and see what it says about hip hop culture and how it shows us that history of African American self-expression, right? African American self-expression, displaying your hopes and fears and emotions through song. That is what African Americans do with hip hop. And finally, I just have a little hip hop playlist of songs that I like, that I enjoy listening to. I also have a quick worksheet for you all to fill out. It's not very long at all, but hopefully it will help you all, remember some of what we learned today in this lesson. So that's all, but let's get started. So first we have here the long history of self-expression, right? The long story of African Americans, right? Through song and through music, they expressed themselves. They showed their emotions and their hopes and their fears. And it started first with these slave songs, right? So last week, we talked about Native Americans and why they were called Native Americans. Do you remember why they were called Native Americans? That's right. They were called Native Americans because they were from America, because their ancestors, their family lived in America for thousands of years. So they are Native Americans. You all are Native Koreans because your parents and your family have lived in Korea for thousands of years, for a very long time. Now, these slaves are not native to America, right? They are native to Africa. That is why we call them African Americans, because they are Africans who live in America. Now, they were brought over to America hundreds of years ago against their will, right? They did not want to come over here. They were forced to come over here. So many of their songs are about Africa, right? They sing about their homeland, about Africa, about where they are from, right? They sing about where they are from, Africa. Now, many slave songs are also about freedom, right? Because slaves, they were not free, right, guys? They were not free like I am free or like you are free. They could not do what they want. They were forced to work. They had to work. So, many of their songs were about freedom and about escaping slavery, right? Escaping slavery. Escape means to run away or to break free of something, right? To run away or to break free. So many songs were about running away from slavery and about freedom from slavery and becoming a free person. Now, thankfully, slaves did get their freedom. And so, these slave songs turned or transformed or morphed, right? Turned, transformed, morphed. They all mean almost the same thing. They turned into these gospel hymns, right? Now, as you can see, if you can make it out, this is a Christian choir or a Christian chorus, a Christian group of singers, right? Okay, and they are singing what? That's right, they are singing gospel hymns. Now, these gospel hymns were songs that praised God or praised Jesus, right? And they also were songs that wished for a better life or a better life after death, okay? So this word praise, what does praising, what does praise mean? Well, to praise means to tell somebody how good they are. It means to tell them that you love them and that they are great and that they do very good things. So these songs were telling God and telling Jesus how good they were, okay? They were praising God. They were praising Jesus. They were telling them how good they were. And, like I said, they were wishing for a better life. Because even though they were not slaves, lives of African Americans were still very hard. And they still are hard today. Which is why music like hip hop, that is a vehicle of self-expression for black people, is still so popular and still so important today because life as an African American is still very hard. Now, we have what is called blues music. Now, it is called the blues because the lyrics or the words in the song, they're often sad or depressing, okay? So depressing means very, very, very sad, right? So something is sad, but if something is depressing, it might be very, very sad, okay? And sad is an emotion that is often associated with the color blue. Sad is linked or sad is connected to the color blue, right? So they called this music the blues because the lyrics, the words in the song were very sad. Now, these songs often talked or sung about poverty. Poverty means being very poor. Maybe it means you don't have money, or it could mean you do not have a house, or you do not have food, right? So poverty is being very poor. Songs could also be about women, right? They could be love songs, right? Love songs, or they could be heartbreak songs, what we might call breakup songs. So they could be about women, They could be about poverty, about being very poor, and the songs could also be about the devil. Okay, the devil. So while gospel hymns were about God and Jesus, about praising God and Jesus and telling God and Jesus how good they were, blues songs are about the devil. Blues music is often called the devil's music because many songs in the blues are about the devil. So there's this interesting contrast or this interesting set of opposites between gospel hymns and the blues, between God and Jesus and between the devil. Now, this man right here with the guitar, right? This is a guitar, and his hat is called a fedora, right? A fedora. This man right here is called or is named Robert Johnson. Okay, Robert Johnson. He was a very famous blues player, and there is a story about him that says he sold his soul, okay? He sold his soul to the devil so that he could be good at guitar. So he sold his soul to the devil, to Satan, to Lucifer, right? So that he could be good at guitar. It's a very interesting, kind of cool story. In rock and roll, another music genre, in rock and roll, many people claim to sell their soul to the devil, but Robert Johnson was the first person known to do it. So Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil. Very cool. Now down here, we have some YouTube videos that I wanted to show you all. Instead, I will email them to your teachers, or I will attach them to a separate Google Doc, so that way you can view them if you like. This video right here is a song called Follow the Drinking Gourd, which is a very famous slave song about how to escape to freedom by following the North Star. Okay? It's about escaping slavery by following the North Star, right? And a good thing about this video is that the words are on the screen with the song, so it is very easy to follow along. The words are on the screen in the video, so it is very easy to follow along, right? And again, this video is called Follow the Drinking Gourd. Follow the Drinking Gourd, and it is about escaping slavery. This next one right here is a video of a modern day church choir singing gospel hymns, right? Modern day. So it happened, in our lifetime. It happened within the last few years, modern day. In the beginning, the pastor, or he's the main person, they're called pastors, right? Pastors. He talks about why gospel music is so important, okay? And after he talks about why gospel music is so important, we get this very great gospel performance from the choir. It's very powerful. It's what you would call moving, right? You feel it emotionally. So I suggest watching that video because it is very powerful. It is very moving. It is filled with a lot of emotion. It has a lot of emotion in the singing. Now, this last video right here is a song by Robert Johnson. Remember, Robert Johnson sold his soul to the devil, and this song is called Me and the Devil Blues. Me and the Devil Blues. It's one of his more famous songs, and it has a nice little animation that I think you will enjoy. So, I will find some way to send you all these videos, and I hope that you check them out. So, next, we are getting into the hip hop a little bit more. We are finally going to start talking about hip hop, which I know you guys are excited for. So, let's start with slang. Now, do we know what slang is? Slang? That's right. Slang are words that are not found in a dictionary but made up on the streets by regular people. So slang might be totally new words, like guap, I believe, is a made up word. It might be a shortened word. It might be a word that is shortened, that is made short, like feds is short for federal agents or FBI. Or it just might be a word that has a different meaning from what you are used to. So slang are words whose meaning are not found in the dictionary, or they mean something they mean something else than what you think. So let's go through some of these, okay? Let's go through some of this slang so I can tell you what it means. Now, the first category we have here is the police, right? In many hip hop songs, they sing about the police, their confrontations with the police, their run-ins with the police. Many hip hop artists do not like police, guys. So, this first one, 5-0, this comes from an old television show. An old television show about police called Hawaii 5-0, right? Hawaii, you know, the island Hawaii 5-0. So it was about police, and so 5-0 is a name for police. Next is 12. Now, I am not exactly sure why 12 means police, but 12 is a very common word you will hear in hip hop songs, and it means police. 12. Now, pigs. Pigs is kind of just like an insult to police, right? You are saying police are like pigs, like they're big and they're sloppy and they're dirty. So pigs is kind of like an insult. So I would not call any police pigs, because that would be very, very bad and very rude. Next, we have feds, right? Which I told you was short for federal agents, or the FBI. The F in FBI stands for federal. So feds is short for federal agents or FBI. Next, we have narcs. Narcs refers to the narcotics division in police organizations. And narcotics divisions deal with drugs, right? Narcotics are drugs, and so people who work in the narcotics department in police stations arrest people who have drugs. So narcs kind of refers to like drugs and maybe someone arresting you or someone getting in trouble because of drugs. These last two, the fuzz and the heat, Again, I do not know why the fuzz and the heat are slang for police, but they are two more words you will hear a lot in hip hop, especially older hip hop like these guys. You will hear the fuzz and the heat a lot. So just know that that is short for the police. Um, Another category of hip hop song, or another thing hip hop songs sing about, is women. And we can see a connection between hip hop songs and blues songs, right? Because hip hop songs and blues songs both sing about women, right? So that is a connection between blues and hip hop because they both sing about women. So it is a connection because it is something similar. So it is a connection. So this first one, wifey. A wife is someone you marry, right? You marry your wife. If you are a guy, you have a wife. So a wifey just means wife, or it can mean like a girlfriend as well. So your wifey is either your wife or your girlfriend. Next, we have shorty or shawty, right? Shorty or shoddy. So they are pronounced a little differently, but they mean the same thing, shorty and shoddy. I think this is slang for women because most times women are shorter than men, right? Most women are shorter than men. They are more short than men. So shorty or shoddy kind of refers to women being shorter than men. Next is broad. So you will hear broad in many hip hop songs. However, it is considered rude to call a woman a broad, right? It is rude to call a woman a broad. It is considered maybe sexist or maybe offensive or rude to call a woman a broad. So do not call them that. Do not call them this. But it is in a lot of hip hop songs. And yeah, so just know, just do not call women broads. Next is mama. So mama is another name for mom or mother, mama, right? So when a rapper says mama, he might be talking about his mother, or he could be talking about his girlfriend, right? So it's a little, it's almost like wifey. Remember, wifey means wife or girlfriend. Mama means mom or girlfriend, right? Mama. Now this last one, guap, this last one, dime. A dime or a dime piece just means a very attractive woman, right? So if a woman is a dime, they are very pretty and they are very attractive. So dime. Next is money. So money. So lettuce is green, right? Lettuce is the color green, and money is the color green. It's kind of like this color. They are both the color green, so money is sometimes called lettuce. Now this next one, guap. I think guap might be a made-up word, right? It might be a made-up word. I'm not positive on that though, but I'm not sure what guap means, but I do know that it refers to money. So if someone says guap, means money. Maybe guap is short for guacamole. Guacamole is made from avocados, which are also green like lettuce, which are also green like money, but I'm not sure. But guap means money. Cheddar or cheddar. This is another one. I'm not sure why cheddar refers to money, why cheddar means money, but it does. Racks, stacks, and bands. Now these are all names for money, and they all mean $1,000, right? So racks, stacks, and bands all mean $1,000. Now, dead presidents, right? Dead presidents. Well, in America, on our money, we have presidents like George Washington or Abraham Lincoln. We have presidents on our money, so dead presidents refers to people on money. It means money. Now, something else that hip hop artists or rappers sing about are material possessions, right? Which means about this. I'm not going to pronounce it, but material possessions or things, right? These two, money and material possessions, they could kind of be seen as another connection, another similarity to blues music or even to gospel hymns. Because if you have money and you have material things, that means you are not poor like in blues music. It means you are not in poverty like in blues music. And it means you have a good life. Remember the gospel hymns sung about having a better life? And blues music sung about poverty, about being poor. So these hip hop artists singing about having money and singing about having these material possessions, having these things, is kind of a response to that, I would say. It's kind of the hip hop artists realizing that they have it good now, or that they have it better than their parents or their grandparents had, right? They are better off, they are doing better than black people in the past. So, material possessions, right? Things, a couple of them down here. First, we have crib, right? Now, a crib is something that a baby sleeps in. A baby sleeps in a crib. But in hip hop slang, crib means your house. You know, where you live, it is your house or your apartment, right? Your crib is your house. This one I made a mistake on. A whip is a car, okay? A whip is a car. It is not a house, okay? It is not a house. A whip is a car. When you're driving fast, you whip the steering wheel or you whip the car. So a whip is a car. It is not a house. Now, to flex means that you are showing off. To flex means to show off. Like when you flex your muscles, like your arms, you are showing off how big your muscles are, how big your arms are, right? So to flex means to show off. Now, chains, here we see these two rappers right here. They both have chains, right? So chains could, be the necklace or the chain around rapper's neck. It could also refer to any jewelry that they're wearing, okay? So chains could be the gold chains around their necks or the jewelry that they are wearing. And chains is an interesting word because slaves used to wear real chains so they wouldn't escape, right? So slaves used to wear chains so that they would not escape. So rappers using chains as a way to show their wealth, or using chains as a way to show how well they are doing, it is interesting, I think. I think it is them taking the word back, or reclaiming the word, or changing the meaning of the word. So chains means the bling on their neck. It means the gold around their neck. Now, these two men right here were two very famous rappers in the 1990s, right? Here we have the Notorious B.I.G., or Biggie Smalls. And here we have Tupac, right? Tupac. Now, Biggie Smalls was from New York, right? New York City. And Tupac was from California. So these two, back in the 90s, these two had a bit of a rivalry, right? They competed, right? Maybe they were enemies a little bit. But these two are considered very, very important figures in hip-hop, very important rappers in hip-hop. So Biggie Smalls, Notorious B.I.G., and Tupac, right? I would give them a listen. They're very good. So here we have some themes in hip-hop. We have been talking about how hip-hop is about black self-expression, right? It is about black people in America expressing their emotions. It's about black people in America saying and showing their hopes and their fears and their desires and their anxieties. So hip-hop is about self-expression. Hip-hop is also about being black and proud. Hip-hop is about being black and proud. In America, black people face discrimination, right? Discrimination, which is when you are treated differently because of how you look or because of the color of your skin. So, black people in America are treated bad by sometimes because of the color of their skin. So, hip-hop is a way for black people to feel good about being black. It is a way for black people to be proud of their race and of who they are. It is what you would call empowering, right? Hip-hop empowers black people. It makes them feel good about being black. Now, related to discrimination is this word racism, right? Racism means hating someone because of the color of their skin. So in America, black people have to deal with this racism a lot. It's very sad. It's very unjust and unfair. And while things have gotten better, they are not great. They could be much better, right? They will not be great until there is no racism. So, one of the things hip-hop does is it fights racism. Hip-hop is about fighting racism. Hip-hop is about getting rid of racism, about destroying racism, because racism is an awful thing that should not exist. So, hip-hop is about self-expression. It is about black people showing and displaying their hopes and fears. Hip-hop is about being black and proud. It is about black people being happy for being black. And hip-hop is about fighting racism, right? It is about getting rid of hate for black people and making lives of black people better. Now, I wanted to show you this song, right? I wanted to show you This Is America by Childish Gambino. You can, of course, look it up yourself, and I suggest you do. His name is Childish Gambino. There you go, Childish Gambino. That's the YouTube channel. And the song is called This Is America, okay? So This Is America by Childish Gambino. I think it is a very interesting hip-hop song, and it says a lot about modern hip-hop, right? So, what does it say about modern hip-hop? Well, first, as we can see from this picture, it comments or it talks about black on black violence, right? Black on black violence. Black people hurting or killing other black people. It also talks about cars and money and material possessions, right? Cars, money, and material possessions. And also women, right? You see there's a woman right here, and there are many cars. And it also talks about gospel and blues music, right? We see here a gospel choir in the background. Now, from lines like "Get your money, black man," and "Yeah, yeah, go away," as well as these pictures, I think you might think something different, but I think Childish Gambino is showing us how modern hip-hop's focus on money and material possessions and violence is destroying black culture. All right, so modern hip-hop's focus on money and things and violence is destroying black culture. It is destroying the black soul of America. Gospel music is often called soul music, right? It is soul music. And so in the video, Childish Gambino shoots all these people. Like he shoots the black man right here. And I think that shows how hip-hop is kind of destroying black culture. With that being said, however, hip-hop is also a very important tool of expression. It's a very important way that black people express their culture in America. So it's this tricky thing because hip-hop is black culture, right? Hip-hop is black culture. But according to Childish Gambino, hip-hop is also destroying black culture by focusing on violence and focusing on money and things, and really by destroying its roots, right? It is just destroying gospel and blues music. This man represents blues music in the video, so it's this tricky thing of how can hip-hop be the cultural expression of black people or the cultural music of black people. How can hip-hop be the music of black people if it is destroying black culture? It is a very tricky problem. I do not have an answer, but I think it is something to think about, right? Something to think about, and maybe you can come up with an answer as to how hip-hop can be black culture while also destroying black culture, right? So, finally, this is the last slide. As you can see, I have this little hip-hop playlist that I will try to send to you guys. If I am unable to send it, if I cannot send it, then here are the songs and here are the URLs, so you can look up the songs yourself. I think all the songs are very different, and they are all very good examples of hip-hop. Now here, I will be sending you this. This is just a quick worksheet about what we learned today in class, right? It's just a quick worksheet about hip hop. It's just some fill in the blanks. So, yeah, that is the hip hop lesson, guys. I hope you enjoyed. It's not exactly how I wanted to teach it. I was hoping I could teach you guys about it in class and have a more hands on class, but hopefully you guys enjoyed. And when we do return to school, when we do come back to school, I would like to do another lesson on hip hop, maybe, and get a little more hands on. So, if you would like to do another lesson on hip hop when we return to school, or maybe other music like rock and roll, or the blues, or gospel, or slave songs, let me or let your teachers know, and I would be happy to do another lesson on hip hop or a lesson on the blues or a lesson on soul music, gospels, or a lesson on slave songs, or a lesson on rock and roll, or a lesson about any other music. I love music, guys, so if you want to learn more about music, I am happy to teach you guys more about music, or whatever you want to learn about. So, here's the playlist. I will send you the playlist and the Google Doc. I hope you guys learned a lot, and I hope you enjoyed. I hope you're staying safe. I hope you are healthy. And Onekiwahi. Goodbye, class.